Fight man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. All right, man, we back. Let's talk about Errol Spence beating down Danny Garcia. I had it 12-0. Pretty much what I thought as far as the scorecards. Got Mason here today. You watched the fight, Mason? Mason, you box. It's my boy Mason, man. But phenomenal performance by Errol Spence. Phenomenal comeback story. Took some good shots. Dominated the fight. But let's talk about it. Check out our fight prediction playlist for more videos like this. But yeah, you talking about somebody. Let me fix the camera. You talking about somebody that came out there and made a statement. Dominated. You know, Danny Garcia was trying to punch with Errol, but Errol was just too long as far as his reach. And Danny, when he did land, it was grazing shots. You know, he was punching with him, but Danny couldn't really get the leverage because his arms were short. Danny doesn't have the dimensions or the skills to be a dominant 147-pounder in any era. When you got them arm length and that height, you have to tuck and get on the inside. And sometimes he tried to get on the inside. He got dominated there on Errol Spence. He tried to fight in the middle range, the pocket range. He got dominated. He tried to fight on the outside. He got picked apart. Errol Spence just made the decision not to get stopped, not to get the stoppage. You know, I just think he melded in. He could have stopped Danny Garcia at some point, in my opinion. He went to the body. He went to the head. He had it working, you know. Danny Garcia was trying to punch with him. He touched Errol a couple of times. Errol took some good shots, but too big, too long, too strong. Let me get situated. He messing with me. I just think he was the better fighter, straight up and down. And, you know, thinking about the first round, Danny Garcia landed some good shots, straight up and down. You know, but Errol landed the better shots. They may not have been the one punch, you know, catch your eye punches, but he was touching them. The stick was just too much. He putting the stick in his face. I would like to see Errol double it more, but he put the stick in Danny Garcia's face, and Danny Garcia couldn't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? And that was his thing. And then, you know, Errol started putting it on, putting that pressure on him. Danny started to turn Errol, and Errol had to reset, and sometimes he would make Errol reset and make him recut off the ring, but Errol would go right back in there and cut the ring off. And that was the beautiful thing about it. Danny was in survival mode, but he was still giving the effort. He knew he couldn't beat Errol. He hit Errol with some big shots, but he couldn't get leverage on his big shots. So you didn't get the 100% punching power Danny Garcia because Errol didn't sit in front of his face. You know, and when he did sit in his face, Errol kept that jab down his throat, and Errol landed a big left hand. You know, he went to the body a little bit, but when he go to the body, Danny was starting to catch him a little bit. So, you know, Errol's speed was just too much. He got on the bike towards the end of the fight, but we'll get there. Just kept beating on him. You know, at some point we thought Danny was going to get stopped. But Errol, he ain't a finisher. Errol will just be complacent with just beating you over 12 rounds. He not going to finish you, and that can come back to bite you in your ass. Because when you got a guy hurt, you just got to finish him. But Errol making people pay $80 for him not to finish somebody and just box him, he got to close the gap, and he should have finished Danny Garcia. But then again, you know, maybe he wanted to go to rounds, but Errol not a good finisher. You know, he's a dude that's going to beat you up by attrition. He going to beat you up by volume. He going to beat you up, but he just, you know, he can't finish. And that's the problem. Good fighter, but he just can't finish. You know, or he just don't want to finish you. He just happy without boxing you. And the difference with Bud is Bud going to get you up out of there. He going to take the chance. He going to take the risk. And me and Nate Campbell, who's on Line Killer channel, he argued me that Crawford can't punch with both hands. Like, we've seen Crawford knock guys out with both hands. We've seen it. But then again, everybody got their opinion. I think Crawford the best puncher in the division. I think Manny Pacquiao got the most thump in one punch. I think Bud the best puncher. But Errol is a phenomenal guy that can cut the ring off, close the distance, and still not get hit. You've seen it tonight. You know, he was beating on Danny Garcia. He swelled. Danny Garcia ain't never got done like that. As far as punishment, he got punished. He got punished tonight. And Errol, right around like the 9th, 10th round, he decided to box and use the ring and just really mill it in. But he made that decision. He could have sat up there and tried to KO him. and probably would have got the job done. It's just like he made an agreement with Danny Garcia that he wasn't going to knock him out. And you see why Danny Garcia didn't want to fight Errol Spence over them years. And this shows you that style makes fights. I didn't think Danny and Keith Thurman was close. People said it was close because Keith Thurman just started, jogging down the backstretch. Sean and Danny was close, but Errol and Sean was close. But Errol and Danny wasn't close at all. Danny Garcia don't really belong at this division because he don't have a style. And then again, his corner was pathetic tonight. They gave him no good advice. Didn't look like they had a good training camp at all. But you know what? He was able to sit there and take the ass whooping straight up and down. He would sit there. He took the beast by Errol today. But other than that, man, Errol hand speed was good today. His legs was good today. He took the shot. He bounced good. He showed that he can box and move around the ring. Showed why he was an Olympian. He showed that tonight. Danny Garcia, he just didn't have the athleticism. He just didn't have the height. He just didn't have the reach. It wasn't that he didn't possess the power to get him out of there. He couldn't find the leverage. It's simple as that. He couldn't find the leverage. And when you can't find that leverage and you're looking for that one shot, he punched with Errol Spence, but Errol Spence is just so long that he couldn't really get no leverage on the shots, and that's just what it boiled down to. It's what I thought it was. Errol long, good athlete, good leg work, good punching power, and Danny Garcia couldn't even get the left hook off today. He couldn't even get the left hook off. Couldn't get nothing off. Jab was non-existent. How he had to beat Errol, get inside that reach and beat him on the inside. And he tried that. Credit to him. Tip your hat off to a guy who tried something different. He tried to go on the inside. He tried to fight him on the inside. Errol beat him up there. He tried to sit in front of Errol and counter him. Errol beat him up there. He tried to snipe from the outside. Errol beat him up there. Just wherever he went, Errol was going to beat him up. And that's as simple as that. And, the dude is just a phenomenal fighter. You got to give it to him. Is he the greatest welterweight I've seen? No, but he looked straight. He established himself or reestablished himself as the number one welterweight just based on his tenure in the division and the guys that he beat. But just because you're number one in the rankings don't mean you're the best welterweight. And that's what we're waiting to see. He said he's not going to fight Keith Thurman. He reiterated that on ESPN. And can you blame him? I still want to see him fight Keith Thurman. I think he ended up stopping Keith Thurman. I think you will see the killer EJ if he fought Keith Thurman. But with Danny Garcia, we can start off there. It's time to hang him up, straight up and down. You can't go to 54 and compete and get no title. You would be the A side, but you would be the A side in a low budget fight. And you would take a major ass whooping in that fight. So for Danny Garcia, I think it's time to turn off the lights, retire. But I'm not the one to say he should or shouldn't retire. It's just that you lost to all the top welterweights on your side of the street. You should have got Manny Pacquiao. He chose Keith because he looked bad versus Josito Lopez. You ain't gonna get Pacquiao. You can fight Crawford, but at what point why Crawford want to fight you as you just got destroyed, ruined by Errol Spence? I didn't think it was an ass whooping where he won't never be the same. Them ass whoopings hit different. Then you lost to Keith. You lost to Sean. You don't want to fight Ugas. Why would you want to go down and fight Josito Lopez? You can fight Terrence Crawford and put the pressure, but then again, you just got washed. So at this point, I just think it's time for Danny Garcia to hang him up. He made money. He invested money. He's a Hall of Famer. But then again, he wasn't a great welterweight. He wasn't even an average welterweight. He didn't beat the average welterweights. He didn't beat those guys. Sean Porter, he lost to him. Sean Porter is, just a slightly above average, but, the average, he didn't really fight the average welterweight. He fought Paulie, Robert Guerrero, two faded guys. Rios really wasn't a welterweight. Granados really wasn't a welterweight. All right. And that was it. So, really, I just think Danny Garcia, great fighter, perfect guy for 140 pounds, not a great guy for 147 pounds. I think it's time for him to end the day. And if he do choose to come back, he got to come back with a better corner. And I know he's going to keep his fight in his corner. But then again, I think it's just too late to teach that old dog new tricks. Danny needed to retire, didn't take a lot of punishment throughout his career, per se. Retire, move on, enjoy your life, enjoy your sister singing, and just move on. And then, come help fighters financially and start a financial company for boxers or just for athletes in general. And I just think that's what, sit there for Danny. But if Danny did want to come back, him and Adrian Broner would be a good money fight that people still want to see. Kavaliauskas is a fight people still want to see. Ugas is a fight people want to see. Maybe he could rematch Sean and Keith Thurman. But at this point, Danny Garcia is drained. Should have, a lot of these guys should have moved up, but it is what it is. I think at this point, it's a Broner fight, Regis Prograis fight, Maurice Hooker fight, those type of fights for him. But I think Broner is the pinnacle right now for him as far as what he's going to do. But to be honest, if he don't get a fight like Broner, it's time to hang him up. Danny was a terrific fighter. He defeated all the odds. We seen today, athletically wise, he can't afford to drop off athletically no more because he ain't a great athlete. He's super slow. Feet was slow, And he had good enough footwork to get out of that ass whooping and get out of the devil's mouth or the lion's mouth some of them times. But that is what it is. But Errol Spence moving forward, he had a mandatory, but it became a draw between Questio Clayton and Sergey Lipinets. He can do whatever he wants to. He want to fight Virgil Ortiz, he can do that. He want to fight Ennis, he can do that. He want to fight Bud, he can do that. He want to fight Sean again, he can do that. He want to fight Keith Thurman again, he can do that. If he want to move up and challenge, anybody at 54, he can do that. He want to move up and fight Canelo at 160, he gonna get his ass beat, but he can do that. So he can do anything that he wishes he want to do right now. And obviously we want to see him fight Bud, and Bud was at the fight and he didn't get in the ring. At this point, he said he wanted to come back next summer. That's a long way away. These guys don't fight. They don't fight. They don't have no activity at all. But I just think that fight ain't gonna happen. Manny Pacquiao rumored to renounce his fight on Monday, and if he do come back in the summer, I think Manny Pacquiao will come back before the summer. Just at the end of the day, we just wash our hands of the situation. Like we was talking about tonight. They said Errol put a lot of fans in the seats. He the draw. He deserves 60-40. My whole thing is Terrence Crawford fought in his hometown way before Errol did, and he sold out the joint multiple times. So, come on. I just think it should be 50-50. You just look at the examples. Wilder and Fury was 50-50 2 times. But then again, you can say the best about Wilder wanted to fight the best. That's what Wilder wanted to do, So at the end of the day, just wash our hands of the situation. Where I stand at the fight. Just think Bud the superior fighter. Bud is the bigger puncher. He the faster fighter. But Errol physically looked good today. It's gonna be a classic. I think Errol gonna win some rounds. I think Crawford gonna win some rounds. But at the end of the day, it's sad that people talking about Crawford gotta unsign with or leave Top Rank and spend. Then again, at the end of the day, Errol Spence don't have another great fight that's gonna take him over the type like Bud. He don't have no fight. He can fight Canelo. He gonna get fucked up. We all know that. Crawford can move up fight Canelo. He got on 54, high risk, low reward at 54. So you go to 160. Demetrius Andrade leaving, Jamal Charlo leaving. Ain't nobody, the same people at 54 gonna be at 60. So really what he gotta understand is this. You may never get this chance to be on this stage and really have a $1 million pay-per-view. It doesn't exist unless you fight Canelo, and then Canelo ain't coming back down to 60 from what I understand. So you look at the landscape of boxing. Let's say Errol, what is he, 30? Let's say he got another good 3 or 4 years left. Look at let's say 3, for example. Who else you got out there? You know what I'm saying? You gonna fight Joey Spencer once he get there, if he get there? There's nobody at 154 pounds that's gonna bring him a lot of money. Him and Jamel can fight, and they still want to do a million pay-per-views. He go to 160. Everybody from 54 gonna be at 60. So he missing the golden opportunity, but I already been told that they don't want to do that fight. So, at the end of the day, we just gotta stop talking about it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. You got to just tip your hat off to Errol. After the fight, he said that, he don't want to think about it right now. He going to be back in the summer. Brian Kenny said, why not February or March? That's how it used to be. But then again, when you made as much money as he made tonight, fuck it. Come back in March. But I think he probably going to come back versus Sean Porter. Maybe Keith Thurman. He said no Keith Thurman. So probably Sean Porter. But he can do his thing. But then again, boxing is just going to continue to be in that dark abyss. Because we just can't make the fights that we want to see. And for Bud, he's fucked up. He's a dude that want to fight the best. Even if you go out there and take an L, we in a generation where real motherfuckers are obsolete. We scarce. You know what I'm saying? The real get laughed at. The real get made fun of. And boxing ain't no different. So, it is what it is. I commend Clarissa Shields to the MMA, her move to the MMA. And I just think MMA and UFC is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just my opinion. Congratulations to Errol. I thought he won 12 rounds to nothing. I didn't think he lost a second in that fight. 8-4, 9-3. That's what I predicted. That's what the 3 score judges, the scorecards were. I think 2 8-4s and 1 9-3. He dominated, man. He straight up dominated. So, tip my hat off to him for dominating the fight. 12-0 in my opinion. He didn't lose a second. So, commend Danny Garcia. Let me know what you guys think. I think Danny Garcia should retire. And Errol should go on and do whatever he want to do. So, don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also got a Facebook group. You can reach out if you ever have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or whatever the situation may be. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App CJGood313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. We gone.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking at him. No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't looking at him.